90s girl group core drama, Ellen DeGeneres' dream come true, April Fool's recaps, and more on this week's Buzz Throwdown. Welcome to another buzz-filled episode of Buzz Throwdown. I'm your adorable host, Gavin Stone. This week, everyone was in the April Fool spirit, and man, did we get fooled.
It doesn't take much to fool an idiot.
Oh, come on, Vivian. You mean to tell me you weren't even fooled once?
No, I treat April 1st the same way I treat you. I ignore it.
Well, that explains why you haven't accepted my friend request. Here's the top April Fool's pranks that got me pretty good. Google Blue. Google released a video about making Gmail blue. I love blue. It's the color of my sexy eyes. I was bummed when Gmail wasn't blue, so I sent Google a troubleshooting email. They responded with, ha 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 ha. Twitter said that basic users will only be able to tweet with consonants. To use vowels, they would have to pay $5 a month. Being that I need vowels in my tweets, I whipped out my credit card. But when I couldn't find the payment options, I emailed Twitter for help. They responded, dude, you seriously don't know an April Fool's joke when you see one. American Eagle. The clothing company launched their Skinny Skinny campaign of models wearing painted-on pants. Calling it the new Skinny Skinny Jean, their website displayed cans of paint in 2 different shades of blue for the cheap price of $49.99. Clearly, I had to own a can, or 2, but yeah, April Fools! But man, did I really want those Skinny Skinny jeans. YouTube shutting down this whole time. YouTube was nothing but a contest. That's crazy. In the YouTube Spotlight section, YouTube announced they've received enough videos now to pick a winner, and so the site would be shutting down. I was mad that I only had 3,528 videos. The winner would be announced in 10 years when the site would relaunch, featuring only videos by the winner. When I asked Bethel if he was going to report about YouTube shutting down, he felt my forehead. Then he slapped me. And finally, those wacky producers at Buzz Throwdown started a campaign about one of us meeting our final fate on this week's show. Pretty good, guys. Kinda creepy, but pretty good. Kudos to all you pranksters. You make this world a better place. Now it's time for your gossip guru, the ever so spiteful Vivian Royale. Hey Vivian, what do you think about that Buzz Throwdown Final Fate campaign? Who would you like to see go?
I would have gleefully voted for your beheading, but since this show needs an overly chipper closeted host, I'd have to vote for Aria.
But Vivian, I thought we had a moment last week with a makeover and everything.
Oh, do stop whimpering. You're beginning to look like a rabid neon raccoon. Now on to this week's gossip buzz. With Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus still in the heat of their engagement, you'd think that things would have settled down between the couple. If you were to believe this, you're about as thick as Gavin's half-assed foundation. According to my sources, Liam wants to open their relationship to include other lovers. How cheeky. Now, I'm all for exploring your horizons, but I believe marriage is not the doorway to an open relationship. While I'm sure we all wouldn't mind getting our hands on the Hunger Games hunk, I'm willing to bet my closet of stunning couture that Miley Bird will not be letting that happen. Good luck to you, Miley darling. I wish you luck, but if your man is looking for love in other women, I suggest you break off the engagement. It appears that some of my fellow reporters were shocked silly when Justin Bieber made a pit stop at ex-girlfriend Selena Gomez's last week. The former boyfriend meant to dish things out with her and to pick up any dishes and such he might have left behind. According to my most detailed of sources, he was almost in tears as his tense body apparently begged to be held by Selena's sweet arms. Selena, honey, he's needy and simply cannot take the pressure of the delightfully awful press. Selena was compassionate but firm, as you should be with a hysterically crying infant. But was that enough to convince her to get back in his life? I'd venture to say she laughed, then told him to leave, after he, of course, collected his unwanted belongings. My sources also say that baby Bieber texted her on Easter, but she did not respond. Now that's how you keep an ex at bay. Glee star Corey Monteith is checked into rehab to treat substance addiction. A rep for Monteith released this statement. He has voluntarily admitted himself to a treatment facility for substance addiction. He graciously asks for your respect and privacy as he takes the necessary steps towards recovery. The Glee star has been very open about his struggles with addiction in the past, and even admitted to entering into rehab at the age of 19. Real-life girlfriend Leah Michelle has stayed by her man's side, and sources say she even encouraged him to get help. Executive producer for Glee Ryan Murphy took to Twitter, expressing his support for Monteith, as do we. Katie Holmes is a scrappy little scamp. The former Mrs. Tom Cruise was having none of it when a photographer got a little too close and personal in her private space. While she tried to get into her car, the jerkarazzi, still not getting the space invasion hint, continued his photographic assault. Holmes had enough, and went so far as to push him out of the way. I'm used to the paparazzi doing what they can to get a shot at my gorgeous side, but what if that happened to me? Well, let's just say they'd have to surgically remove my Manolo Blahnik from one's ass. Well, that's all the gossip buzz for now. This is Vivian Royale for Buzz Throwdown. Ta-ta, darlings. Mwah.
Time for this week's movie buzz from my favorite hiding place, in case I'm ever gonna get offed, Sebastian Masters!
Did you just backhandedly call me fat?
No. Your clothes are so bright no one could ever see me because of the glare from your vest!
Wow, you're really devoid of any conversation filters, aren't you? Hello, movie buffs, and here's this week's movie buzz. It only took a few days, but the polls are in. There will be a G.I. Joe 3. G.I. Joe Retaliation to open last weekend with $131 million worldwide. That's almost half of what the first film did in its entire run. I'm sure there wasn't too much discussion over greenlighting a third. $131 million in 3 days? I want some of that action. Two ladies at Marvel are trying to get out of their contracts. Both Natalie Portman and Gwyneth Paltrow are done with the whole superhero act. Portman didn't want to come back and play Jane Foster in Thor 2, trying to abandon her multi-film contract. Paltrow, on the other hand, has completed 4 films for Marvel, and she says she's just getting too old for this shit. Ladies, don't you understand about franchises? Everyone comes back. Look at how awful the Batman movies got, but they kept replacing Batman. Val Kilmer? George Clooney? The money can't be too bad, and I'm sure the catering is amazing. Don't pull a Shelley Long and ruin a good thing. In other Marvel leading Lady Buzz, the ever so sultry Zoe Saldana from the newly rebooted Star Trek franchise may be joining the cast of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Saldana is reportedly in talks to play Gamora, a green, human-like creature with a talent for killing. Geez, Zoe sure does love her some outer space action, but who can blame her? Those space uniforms really accentuate those guys' assets. Man of Steel, the new Superman movie, has been testing well in the preview screenings. They were worried that the film was going to be too dark for audiences based on the first trailer. Russell Crowe, who plays Jor-El, has been saying the trailers haven't been doing the film justice. I watched the first trailer and it was dark, but there was a lot of action going on. I certainly don't want to go back to those goofy ones from the 80s, back before I was born. Man of Steel opens June 14th. As I reported last month, there is going to be a sequel to Finding Nemo, but this week we found out about the story and the new title, Finding Dory. The Finding Nemo sequel will take place a year after the first film. As the title implies, the new film will have a lot to do with our forgetful fish friend. One thing that we couldn't stop thinking about was why was she all alone in the ocean the day she met Marlin? In Finding Dory, she will be reunited with her loved ones, learning a few things about the meaning of family along the way. One other bit of good news is the tank gang from Nemo is also coming back, but you have to wait until November 25th, 2015. Well, that's all the movie buzz I have this week. This is Sebastian Masters, and I'll have more fabulous movie buzz for you next week on Buzz Throwdown.
Time for this week's TV buzz from the red bow tie wearing Arnold Gray. Hey, Arnold! The Buzz Throwdown Facebook page had a poll asking fans as to who was gonna bite it this week. I voted for you. You're welcome, buddy. Gavin, your demise would be celebrated in several countries and declared a national holiday, in which I would break my ban on holidays and celebrate the absolute shit out of it. What do you get when you have the highest pirated episode of all time from a cable network? Why, you give it another season. Game of Thrones premiered this week to 4.4 million views, the highest the show has ever seen in a season opening. While HBO execs aren't thrilled about the pirated reports, they do acknowledge that they are pleased that so many want to see the show. That's code for, hey you cheap heathens, pay $15 a month for HBO. In other record-breaking buzz, the third season of the AMC zombie hit The Walking Dead ended its bloodthirsty season as the highest-viewed episode on a Sunday, pulling in 12.4 million viewers. The irony of The Walking Dead season finale airing on Easter is exquisitely blasphemous. Season 4 of The Walking Dead is set to premiere in October. The sign of the television apocalypse is upon us. NBC has confirmed that the coma-inducing Jimmy Fallon will take over The Tonight Show. NBC goes on to say that Fallon will start his rancid reign on The Tonight Show in the spring of 2014. It's a wonderful thing. I normally pass out while judging the pathetic excuses for prime-time television shows to avoid late-night television. Netflix has finally released the premiere date of Arrested Development. Netflix said in a news release that it would post all 15 episodes of Arrested Development, its fourth season of the comedy series, all at once at 12:01 a.m. Pacific Time on May 26th. Fans of Netflix have come to love the idea of watching an entire series, then suffer from painful withdrawals once they've finished. I love it when I get to use the words painful and suffer in the same sentence. It almost generates a grin. And finally, BBC has confirmed 2 guest stars for the upcoming Doctor Who 50th anniversary special. Returning to the TARDIS will be the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and my favorite companion, Rose, played by Billie Piper. John Hurt also co-stars in the special, which starts filming this week. Written by Stephen Moffat and directed by Nick Huron, the Doctor Who 50th anniversary special will air on BBC on November 23rd. And that's all I want to say this week. This is Arnold Gray, and I'm done. Now it's time for some gaming buzz with my favorite cool cat, Chet Dis. Hey, Chet, what's going on in the gaming biz, buddy?
Thanks, G-Man.
Oh my god, Chet! Chet? Buddy? You okay? It's just a scratch, right?
Bloody hell, will someone come and clean this mess up?
Hey, you look a little freaked out. Maybe I should take over, as host.
Nope. I'm good. The show must go on. Okay, time for this week's Tech Buzz with the apparently soulless Bethel Blackwood.
Hey, I have a soul. I'm just a professional, unlike our queasy host.
Dude, someone just died!
And I'm sad about it. I really am. Sorta. Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tech Buzz. I'm sure everyone out there has already heard of the hacker group Anonymous. Whether you think they are lawless vigilantes or are unsung heroes, they did one thing this week that I think we can all agree was awesome. They hacked the Facebook page of the Westboro Baptist Church. You know, the hate group that pickets military funerals, saying thank God for soldiers' death because he hates gays? Yeah, those fuckers. Well, their Facebook page got a little makeover, singing the praises of marriage equality and, of course, cat pictures. I tip my hats off to Anonymous. You know who I don't tip my hat off to? Facebook. The rumor mill has been going crazy this past week with what their announcement would be. Some said it would be a new phone, some said it would be a home screen replacement for your Android. In the end, it was a combination of both. This new phone by HTC called The First is running a new piece of software simply called Home. And what it does is make Facebook front and center on your phone. Facebook is no longer just an app on your phone, Facebook is your phone. Your phone is Facebook. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this. I like Facebook and all, but I don't need it taking over my phone. And as for the phone they are releasing on it, the HTC First, meh, the hardware is boring. But Facebook did say they would be releasing Home on Google Play Store for select phones. Speaking of HTC guys, the wait is finally over. Both AT&T and Sprint have announced they will be releasing the HTC One on April 19th. T-Mobile has not given a specific date yet, but I assume it'll be the 19th as well. You guys know this is my new phone. I will be there to buy it as soon as it's out. Do you guys like to play word games? A new game studio called Bearded Man Studios just released a beta of their first game this week called Word Lab. If you like games where you have to find words in a jumble of letters and work your brain meat out, give it a try. Currently only on the Google Play Store, but will be coming to the Apple App Store soon. That's it for now, guys. See you next week for more Tech Buzz right here on Buzz Throwdown.
It was an April Fool's joke. It was an April Fool's joke. It was an April Fool's joke.
Gavin. Guys, I think he's broken.
Well, my therapist has me do this so I won't call her. She charges $2.99 a minute when I call. She's just trying to save me money. Gotta love those late night infomercials. You okay, Jenner? You know, the whole Chet death thing?
He picked Batman over Wonder Woman in the Injustice Battle Arena vote. He got what he deserved. Howdy, time for this week's comic book buzz. WonderCon was last weekend. To be honest, there wasn't anything buzzworthy that came out there. Do better, WonderCon. Maybe things will be back to normal once Wonder is back in San Francisco. I still met some cool cosplayers and chatted up with some of the independent publishers. And I heard you. I'm going to start adding some indie love to my comic book buzz. Marvel announced a new series that takes its cue right after Age of Ultron. Avengers AI is an ongoing series debuting in July, written by Sam Humphries and illustrated by Andre Lima Arturo. The Vision, Hank Pym, a Doombot on the road to redemption, play key roles in this spin-off series that tackles artificial intelligence in the wake of Ultron's takeover. Avengers AI also includes Ultron's son Victor Mancha, a new character Lexus, and Monica Chang, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Dark Horse announced a new Star Wars series launching July 17th, Star Wars Dark Times, A Spark Remains. This series shows one of the last sparks of Jedi, the insectoid Bagor Sadet, and the lovesick Das Jenner. Hey, that's my name! I'm a Jedi by proxy. Anyway, these Jedi are attempting to mount an assassination of the right hand of the Empire, Darth Vader. These Jedi are used to long odds, but even those two know they need some backup. It's just a matter of finding the right Jedi for the job. While I'm not a fan of prequels, this series has me excited. DC Comics announced the new series of Astro City will be released under DC's Vertigo imprint. Astro City started in 1995 at Image Comics, before moving to DC as part of their 1999 acquisition of Wildstorm. Though Vertigo is known as DC's mature readers imprint, Astro City hasn't previously been labeled as such, and will continue not to be. Astro City artist Brent Anderson said at WonderCon last weekend that the upcoming volume will emphasize on new characters like American Chibi and the Ambassador, the latter seen in a variant cover issue 1 by Alex Ross. And finally, the coolest thing that came out this week, DC Animation announced the release date of Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox, which will hit Blu-ray Combo Pack, DVD, on demand, and digital download on July 30th, 2013. This is the story behind the New 52 reboot, which was written by Jeff Johns and art by Andy Kubert. I'm so excited about this. Mark your calendar, guys. Well, that's it for me this week. This is Jenner Jones, and I'll be back next week, depending if this show isn't canceled for unsafe conditions. Till next time, all will be well.
No, seriously, call my therapist. Well, tell her this time it really is an emergency. I'm dealing with post-traumatic stress suffrage. Oh, we're rolling? Right, Now it's time for this week's Music Buzz with our little musical genius, Aria. How are you holding up, Aria?
Oh, I'm doing really, really good. The set doctor gave me some nice and sparkly pretty pills.
Wait, there's happy pills and there's a set doctor? What's the star of a low-budget web series got to do around here to get some medicated loving?
And on that note, hey guys, let's get started with this week's Music Buzz. The ever-so-yummy Robin Thicke's latest music video, The Unrated Blurry Lines, may have been a little too inappropriate for the internet. The super sexy video features models walking around with Thicke and Farrell with exposed boobies. My only gripe is that Robin wasn't showing off his assets too. Anyway, the video was so hot it was pulled from YouTube. When Robin caught wind of the news, he took to Twitter saying, YouTube took down the unrated version of Blurry Lines because it was too hot. You can view it here on Vivo. Pharrell, who's also on the track, responded to the tweet saying, why they trying to ban good shit? You guys can find a PG version of the music video on YouTube, but if you're feeling naughty, I'd go to Vivo. Gossip guy Perez Hilton was accused of leaking the new Jonas Brothers music video, Pom Pom, earlier this week. Perez released a video statement saying he didn't leak the video, and in fact, other sites had it up before his. He also goes on to say that he loves the Jonas Brothers and hopes that are not mad at him for posting the pom-pom video. This is supposed to be the more kinder and gentler Perez. Last time I checked, asking for permission to post someone else's video was still the polite thing to do. In 90s music diva buzz, the battle over the legal rights to En Vogue's name has finally ended. A judge ruled in favor of members Cindy Herron and Terry Ellis, giving them exclusive rights to the group's name. Herron and Ellis accused former En Voguers Maxine Jones for illegally using the band's name, En Vogue, to promote her performances after she left the group. Herron and Ellis, who own En Vogue Enterprises, LLC, which formed in 2006, were also performing under the same name at the same time. Dawn Robinson, the fourth founding member, was not listed in the court documents as part of the legal dispute. Robinson had joined the cast of VH1's R&B Divas LA, which premieres later this year. So much for a reunion. And finally, the Rolling Stones are to perform in London's Hyde Park for the first time since the band's legendary free concert for an estimated 250,000 people in 1969. The outdoor gig is set for July 6th and will also feature the Vaccines, the Temper Trap, and Gary Clark Jr. How badass is that? Tickets for Hyde Park concert will be priced at $145. I so gotta get mine. That's it for this week's Music Buzz. This is Aria, and I'll see you next week on Buzz Throwdown. Bye!
Well, that's our show this week. Sorry about the death and stuff, but the Buzz Throwdown producers have assured us that they are looking into the safety of the soundstage to make sure what happened to Chet stays with him. What? What do you mean the light fixture was tampered with? You mean someone wanted Chet dead? See you next week on Buzz Throwdown!